Do you ever feel like you're a prisoner of your past, haunted by old wounds, defined by your upbringing, and stuck in patterns you can't seem to break? Or maybe you feel exhausted from constantly seeking approval, trying to live up to everyone's expectations, and terrified of being disliked. Why is it so hard to be happy? What if I told you that almost everything you've been taught about trauma, happiness, and human relationships might be wrong? What if your past doesn't define you at all? Today, we are diving into a book that has become a global phenomenon, selling over 10 million copies, because it offers a radical and profoundly liberating path to happiness. It's The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. This book is unique. It's structured as a series of conversations, a dialogue between a philosopher and a skeptical young man, unveiling the revolutionary ideas of Alfred Adler, one of the three giants of psychology alongside Freud and Jung. Prepare to have your worldview challenged. We're going to walk through the 5 nights of conversation that will teach you how to find true freedom and happiness. The first night, deny trauma. This is where the book throws down its most shocking challenge. The philosopher argues against the Freudian idea that our past causes our present. This is etiology. Instead, Adlerian psychology uses teleology, the idea that we are not driven by past causes, but by our present goals. For example, the philosopher talks about a young man who was too anxious to leave his room. The Freudian view would say his past trauma caused his anxiety. Adler's view is different. It says the young man has a goal to not go outside, and he is using the feeling of anxiety as a tool to achieve that goal. Perhaps his goal is to get his parents' constant attention or to avoid the potential failure of competing in the real world. Think about anger. When a waiter spills coffee on you and you erupt in a rage, it's not an uncontrollable emotion. You are choosing anger as a tool to quickly make the waiter submit to you. It's faster than explaining yourself calmly. Anger is a tool you can pick up and put down. This leads to the bombshell idea. Trauma as a determiner of our future does not exist. The book doesn't deny that terrible things happen, but it argues that no experience is in itself a cause of our success or failure. What matters is the meaning we assign to those experiences. We choose how to interpret our past. We decide our own lives right here, right now. Your unhappiness is a choice you're making today because you lack the courage to change. The second night. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. The philosopher makes another bold claim. All of your problems, every single one, are problems of interpersonal relationships. Even self-dislike is a relationship problem. You don't actually hate yourself. You focus on your flaws as an excuse to avoid getting into relationships with other people because you are terrified of being judged or hurt by them. In that sense, disliking yourself becomes a twisted, protective virtue. Adler distinguishes between a feeling of inferiority, which is normal and can motivate us to improve, and an inferiority complex, which is when you use that feeling as an excuse not to move forward. I don't have a degree, so I can't succeed. This can even lead to a superiority complex where you boast and act superior to mask deep-seated feelings of inadequacy. The root of these problems is viewing life as a competition. When you see others as rivals, you can never truly be happy for them. You live in a world of enemies. But when you step out of the competition, you can see everyone as your comrade. This competitive mindset leads to power struggles. When someone insults you and you get angry, you've entered a power struggle. The only way to win is not to play. Just walk away. If you don't, it can escalate into a stage of revenge, where the goal is simply to make the other person miserable, like a rebellious teenager who self-destructs just to make their parents suffer. The third night, discard other people's tasks. This is where we get the most practical tool for untangling our lives. Adler says we must reject the desire for recognition. Living your life for the praise of others means you are not living your own life. You are living theirs. The key is the separation of tasks. In any situation, you must ask, whose task is this? You should only focus on your own tasks and never interfere in the tasks of others. How do you know whose task it is? Ask, who is ultimately going to receive the result of the choice being made? For example, studying is the child's task, not the parents'. The child is the one who will face the consequences of not studying. A parent's job is to offer help, not to force them or do it for them. That is interference. The book uses the great metaphor of the Gordian knot, a knot no one could untie. Alexander the Great didn't try to untie it. He took out his sword and sliced it in half. Sometimes the only way to solve a complex relationship problem is to decisively cut it by separating the tasks. This leads to the book's title concept. Freedom is being disliked by other people. If no one dislikes you, it means you are trying to please everyone, which is an impossible and unfree life. The cost of freedom is to be disliked by someone. This doesn't mean you should try to be disliked, but you must not be afraid of it. It's proof that you are living according to your own principles. The fourth night, where the center of the world is. Adlerian psychology is about seeing the whole. You can't separate mind and body, reason and emotion. They are all part of an indivisible me. The goal of all our relationships is to find the feeling of community. This is the feeling that it's okay for me to be here. And this community isn't just your family or town, it's all of humanity, past, present, and future. To find this feeling, you must accept that you are not the center of the world. People who are self-centered believe others exist to serve them, and they are constantly disappointed. The key to happiness is to shift from attachment to self to concern for others, or what Adlerian called social interest. Your self-worth comes not from praise, but from the feeling that I am useful to the community, or I am of use to someone. This is about contribution. The fifth night, live earnestly in the here and now. The final night brings everything together into a way of life. It begins with self-acceptance, not self-affirmation. If you score a 60 on a test, don't tell yourself, I'm really a 100. Accept the 60 and ask, what can I do to get closer to a 100? This acceptance is the foundation for building confidence in others, which must be unconditional to create deep relationships. It also means having the courage to be normal. The obsession with being special is a trap. It's okay to just be you. And most importantly, it means understanding that life is a series of moments. It's not a straight line to a destination. It's a dance. You don't dance to get somewhere. The dancing itself is the point. So you must shine a bright light on the here and now. The past is gone. The future is unknown. Living anywhere but the present is the greatest life lie of all. Life has no meaning in and of itself. We are the ones who assign meaning to it. And the guiding star for that meaning is contribution to others. If you have that, you will never be lost. And remember, if I change, the world changes. The power of one person is immense. You don't need anyone else to change. You just need the courage to change yourself. The Courage to Be Disliked is a revolutionary guide to freeing yourself from the chains of your past and the expectations of others. It teaches you that your past doesn't define you, that all your suffering comes from your relationships, and that you have the power to solve those problems by separating tasks. It gives you permission to be free, even if it means being disliked. It shows you happiness is found not in being praised, but in contributing. And it calls on you to stop planning for life and to start living it by dancing in each and every moment. You don't lack the ability to be happy. You only lack the courage to be. If this deep dive into finding the courage to live your own life is the kind of wisdom you're looking for, you've come to the right place. That's what we do here at The Book Whisperer. We break down powerful, life-changing books to give you the tools you need to solve real-world problems. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown.